Hello everyone, and welcome to the premiere episode of Dragon Riders. It's good to be here. If the music would start up. Doesn't appear to be going through for me.
I hear it very quietly.
Oh, dearie me. Give me a sec. Okay. Give it a chance. Is it coming through?
Yes.
Gonna try again.
Oh.
Dad hears music.
Oh, wait. Oh!
Funny today.
Uh-oh.
What did you do?
I had it muted on the channel of my GoXLR. That's why it wasn't coming through.
Oh. Oh dear.
Good today.
Hey, we're getting all the tech stuff out now, and
Okay.
then
Yes.
it's just smooth sailing.
So,
Through smooth riding.
technically speaking, this is the part in the Monday show where I stop the recording, start again, and say hello everyone and welcome to Dragon Riders, the premiere episode. I am joined by 4 wonderful cast members, all of whom I've GM'd before, but not all of whom I've had on the channel before. So, we're going to do a quick go around, introduce everyone, and then I'm going to introduce you to... I do actually want to talk a little bit about the show, because it's completely custom made, and I think it would be worthwhile. But yes, well, I'll intro you to the setting, and then we'll get going with the show. So let's start off with Katie Peters Plays.
Hi, I'm Katie Peters Plays. I do tabletop and streams and podcasts. I never know what to say in these situations.
I mean, just talk about how awesome you are, and like really big yourself up, and tell people that they should be watching you all the time, at every single second you're alive.
I mean, I thought that was without saying. Like, I just know.
You'd be surprised the things you need to tell people.
No, I enjoy getting to do creative stuff on Twitch, so I'm excited about being able to ride a dragon. And when I heard there were dragons involved, I was like, please sign me up. So, yeah, I'm just Katie Pierce Plays, and I'm excited to be here and get to RP with some people again, and then also get to RP with Ellie for the first time. So I'm looking forward to this.
Well, speaking of Ellie, the next person up is... I was going to try and make a funny comment about the 3 in your name, but I'm like, Thrillbell? Thrillbell? No, it doesn't really work. Elbell! Hello!
Hi everyone, I'm Ellie, or Elbell, or Trillabelle, as some of, that's what I get. That's the other option.
Oh, okay. Trebell.
There we go. I am really excited to be here. I'm excited to ride a dragon. I'm excited to do something a little different, and I'm excited for this entire cast. I stream on Twitch full time. I play a lot of retro first playthroughs, and I really like spooky games, but I like being scared but not being scared. And that's it. I don't know. I'm excited to be here and ride a dragon.
Hell yeah. I already hate this double click thing. Next up is Tashna?
Okay. Hello.
B?
I'm Tashna. A lot of you will have seen me already. I've played in tabletop shows on The Wandering Inn before, in Sunkist and stuff, which is a lot of fun. I like being dramatic, so I was like, sure, I'll play a dragon. Why not? I'm really excited. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I do a lot of Final Fantasy XIV. I do my makeup on streams. I do creative. And I have lots of painting of minis to do that I have not done. So that's nice also.
Myself and Tashna do a 40,000 mini painting and lore talk series, which is a lot of fun if you enjoy 40k. And if you don't, it's very confusing. We actually had Katie on to paint a mini. We had a lot of fun there. It's pretty cool.
There's a
as
lot
well.
in it. And
Yeah.
I paint. That's nice.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sheepy.
There you go.
They look great. I always love seeing what you guys like, the end product and the process.
Oh, I have something new for tomorrow. Anyway.
And also, Domestic Dan.
Hi, it's me, Domestic Darn, apparently. I'm a lifestyle variety broadcaster, and I wake up early for this show, and
Which is much appreciated.
oh no, it gets me up. Like that's the thing. I mean, I still need heavy amounts of caffeine, and
Ditto.
you know, that's just normal actually. So yeah, if you want to see a highly caffeinated hipster from Seattle cook, clean, garden, play games, all that tabletop stuff, that's me.
Wonderful.
And I'm excited for dragons. Sorry.
Yes.
That is.
I am also, yes. And I myself am Sheepdog. I run the Wandering Inn, and I do things like this. This Friday slot, this Friday show, is intended for any new GMs who are wanting to try their hand at something, or any existing GMs who want to try something experimental. Speaking of experimental, let me tell you a little bit about Dragon Riders. I have custom made a system which is quite simplistic, but I think has a nice little amount of depth to it, maybe. Where the players will be playing both a Dragon Rider and a dragon at the same time. But they will not be playing their own dragon and Dragon Rider. The dragon they will be playing will be a dragon for one of the other players. And none of them know what they're getting at the moment, so it's going to be interesting to see what they get. I've made a kind of a basic setting, and there is a map which I'll probably put on the Discord for anyone interested, but it's essentially, yeah, it's a D10 system. There are 3 stat pools, basically martial, mental, and meld. Meld is kind of the amalgamation of dragon and rider ability, pretty much. And there are also some tags that the characters can gain as they progress through life and training, that can change the success gate. So currently, if someone rolls 3d10, their success gate would be a 6, which would a 6 or higher would be a success. There are tags that can make it a 5, and there are negative tags that can make it a 7, and it can go up and down and be a little bit changey. So that's how that goes. Just realized I was on the wrong bit there. Thank you. And yeah, the only other thing, if you've been watching the Twitter, you'll see that there are different types of dragons. There are the regular dragon, looks like a normal European style dragon. There is the Hydrang, which has 3 heads, only one of which is properly sentient and talks and moves and stuff. The others are like arms, or, you know, they still have the senses, but they don't necessarily have they're not different personalities, is what I'm saying. There's also the Longron, which I had a search around, and all I could find it being called was either an Asian dragon or a lung dragon, neither of which quite fit, so I decided to call it a Longron. And then there is also a Wyvern, which is a more horizontal but still quite large dragon with wings with the arms attached, so kind of 2 legs and wing arms. Additionally, there are, I think, 9 different colors of dragon, all of which have their own special abilities and things they can do. Obviously, from the players, you won't be seeing every single color of dragon, but we have an interesting mix of colors that have been picked. So we'll find out what they are as we go. So, with all of that said, hopefully that sounds interesting to you, and we'll, there's 13 dragon colors. Wow, I went overboard, okay.
Just counted. I was like, I'm sure there's more than 9.
Why did anyone stop me? I should have just made like 6.
You're doing your
Kept having
intros
them.
and things.
No, I meant when I was making the system. Why didn't you stop me at
well.
like 6 colors? There's
Because you didn't tell us
13.
until after you'd finished it.
Correct.
that's hardly an excuse.
I can take a little blame. I was there.
So, what we shall do now is we shall have a little bit of an intro to the setting, give you an idea of what you're getting into, although it's too late for the players, they can't leave now. And then we will go into the characters. So, this show takes part on the continent of Lais, Li''is. At one point, it was part of a huge empire that spanned from sea to sea all across the entire continent. The Emperor and his court, while they started off as heroes, as a good force for the people, eventually became corrupt, became tyrannical, and ruled over the continent with a pretty iron fist. Until they found an archipelago which contained dragons. And thinking that the dragons were dumb, unintelligent, unable to even speak, they started to hunt them, and a war broke out between dragons and the Empire. As time went on, hunters of dragons started to appear, and one such hunter was a woman called Niane. Through multiple encounters, she started to suspect that dragons were actually sentient, were actually capable of thought and speech, and weren't that different from people. To the point where she approached them, attempting to communicate. Didn't go too well, and she ended up almost dying until she was saved by a dragon. In the history books, in the lore, it is suggested that that dragon was either a black dragon or a white dragon, and depending on the story, who's telling it, that changes. What did happen is that the dragon bit into its own flank and poured its blood upon Niane, which formed the first meld, essentially binding dragon and person to each other, and that was the first Dragon Rider. What Niane found was that as the bond became stronger, she could communicate with her dragon and could understand all the other dragons as well. They did have a language, they were intelligent, and she brought others to join her cause to become Dragon Riders, built up a resistance force, and eventually overthrew the Emperor, his court, and was joined by many of the conquered city-states and nations that had been under the rule of the Empire. After that, the Dragon Riders pledged to be sort of a security police force for the continent to make sure that this never happened again, that no tyrants would rise to power. The Dragon Riders themselves don't make laws, don't even really enforce laws. They're there to see that no one rises too high, no one starts to conquer each other, things like that. And they also deal with monsters and incursions and many other things that are difficult for an average person. And as we go towards the current day, the continent of Lais is, technically speaking, fractured. There's a lot of city-states, there's a lot of small countries all over the place. We are going to go to an area in the east of Lais by the sea. There is a dragon nest, a dragon roost called Harrowhold, where, as with all of the other outposts, which operate reasonably independent of the other dragon rider nests, the let's call them fortresses for the sake of argument, every now and then they send out the call. The call is sent out to any settlements nearby, asking for aspirants to come and try see if an egg hatches for them, if they can become a dragon rider, at which point they join the nest and they become slowly a dragon rider. So let us start. We're going to a town. No, it's more of a village. It is called Sagacia. In Sagacia, it is cold, snowy, up in the hills, near the mountains, at the southern reaches of the area. And it is the domain of the Titan clan. Formerly part of a cult that worshipped feral birds and tried to emulate them in all ways possible. Their savagery, their ferocity, their danger. They used to raid, they used to pillage, until one day, when the leader of the clan, Titania Barn, decided that enough was enough, and she wanted to lead her clan to something more peaceful. She encouraged her clan to adjust their worship, to adjust their outlook on life to something a bit more worthy. To owls. Strong, wise, still dangerous, yes, but patient and much more worthy. She took her clan away from the cult, led them to the hills where Sagacia now sits, and away from everything else. Village tucked away from the savagery they'd been a part of, and focused on respect and worship, spirituality. So, in the snow, softly falling, we see a figure sitting on a boulder, lightly dusted with snow. What do we see?
You see a young lady, you see Ultra Bon, who still has the fullness in her face like someone who's young. Hasn't seen the ways of life too much yet, so it's just full and vibrant, and her cheeks are pink from the cold. She has big, much larger than average eyes, and her pupils dilate more quickly than, say, an average person you would encounter. She has long dark hair that she's pulled to the side because it's very windy up here and you need to have it out of your face. And she has a long brown and white cloak on that is adorned with feathers just sewn in and stitched around in a very elegant way.
And as she sits there, eyes closed, thoughts her own, she hears the crunch of snow coming from the village behind her.
My neck would snap back to see.
Just slow, kind of like turn, and then...
I think it would be a quicker turn, but if anyone is familiar with owls, the necks turn very far back, and that's one thing you would notice immediately, is that the neck has turned a lot further back than you would expect someone to be able to do.
About 180 degrees, in fact.
Mm-hmm. So I would turn around and I would look and see.
The eyes open, the pupils dilate, the beak
Immediately.
clacks. There's no beak, by the way.
There's no beak, a figurative beak. But yeah, I definitely want to see who's approaching.
This is one of the village elders, Silka. Quite hunched over, quite old, wrinkled, grey hair, but still very much respected as possibly the wisest in the village at the moment.
Silka, I was just meditating.
Oh, my apologies, Ultra. However, I thought that this was a matter that was worthy of interrupting your moment.
Would you like to sit with me?
Of course. And she moves forward and, like, she sits on the snow at the foot of the boulder.
I'm going to drop down from the boulder and sit next to her.
She puts her hand on your knee.
It's a beautiful day.
Barely cold at all.
Yes, it's warming up.
So, Ultra, I have what I hope is good news for you. The call for riders has gone out again. 20 years since the last one. And you've been selected to represent the tribe.
Me?
You.
What about everybody else?
You're of the right age and of the right discipline that we feel, myself, all of the elders, all of the village, feel that you would be perfect to become a rider and to represent our clans, our village.
My face breaks out into like this big smile, my eyes widen. I'm going to be a rider.
You still have tests to pass, but they are ones I'm sure you can navigate wisely.
I have to pack and
Your things
I
are
be-
ready for you. We have prepared them. And her knees crack a little bit as she stands up. Oh, here, give me your hand.
Silka, I haven't been out in the world yet. What's it like out there?
I won't lie, it can be harsh. But with your training, with your discipline, you'll be able to meet it stolidly.
A dragon.
A dragon.
I'll get to fly.
You will get to fly. I hope once you have completed your training, you will come back and visit us and introduce us to your partner.
Of course I'll come back. I'm going to visit. It's not like I'm going to go down there and just take to the skies and never return.
Well, it's tempting to do so.
Well, I'm coming back. I don't think it's fully sunk in yet. I have to leave immediately, don't I?
You do. The sooner you are there, the less late you will be.
Can I say goodbyes or...
Come
No.
with me. Come. And she takes your hand and puts it under her arm. And you crunch through the snow back to the village. And to anyone else, it might be a little bit creepy. The entire village is just standing there silently. But it's part of the village, the clans, and the tribe that they rarely say things that aren't needed to be said. And as she leads you in, one of them steps forwards, a young child, probably about 10, with a big kind of bag, almost like a sling bag of things, and looks up and says, Ultra, we prepared this for you.
I would bow.
And he tries to bow, but like his feather kind of like his feather dress essentially like rustles, and he forgets that he has the bag in his hand, so it kind of goes down with him, and it's a bit heavy, so it carries him down to the ground, and he kind of
Can I try to catch him or like help
Oh
assist?
yeah. You can totally like just
Okay.
just grab it and be like, oh.
I wouldn't mention anything of it. I just try to make it look as fluid as that was intended to happen.
And he kind of like straightens up once you have it, and there's like a little red flush on his neck and like kind of rosing his cheeks. We
What
all
is this?
wish you the best.
Blessings to the sky. What is it?
Everything that you should need. Your own personal belongings and supplies, some food.
Thank you. All of you I'm going to miss.
And everyone smiles, and there's no words, but they all crowd around and just envelop you in wings of love.
And I'm just going to soak that moment in because I don't know the next time I'm going to have that.
And then they part, and without saying anything, maybe a few nods, a few looks, they go back to their business, leaving only Silka there with you.
They all gathered for me. I will miss the flock, but I will make you all proud.
You don't need to make any of us proud. We know you will do well, and we look forward to seeing what you become.
We will be back, my dragon and I, someday.
Just remember, be patient, be careful, and be brave.
Always.
Always.
And I'll go in to hug Silka very briefly.
Yeah, as she says always, you hear like a little crack in her voice, and probably maybe ignore a tear that's forming, and she, not very strong, she's quite frail, but she does hug you back, and as you break from the hug, she very swiftly turns and starts walking and starts shouting, You should be at your studies! Lots to do, no time to dwell, and she disappears off into one of the huts.
Standing there with my pack, I am going to start heading to where I need to go in order to get to my appointments. But just feeling content that I got a chance to say goodbye to everybody, and silence means more than words sometimes amongst our group. So
Yeah.
feeling very excited, but being more reserved because that's how I've been trained to be, and start heading towards my destination.
Shouldering your bag, walking out of the village through the snow, you set off on the road to Harrowhold, the Dragon Roost. And the scene fades. As we move to another scene in a deep, dark woods with someone crouched in a bush, peeking through the leaves to see a deer grazing on the floor in the grass. Could you describe Rethera for me a little bit, please?
As you see her peeking through the bush, you see long brown hair that's braided to be out of the face. Easy, not very fancy, doesn't seem to really care about how she looks. Everything's a little bit loose, big, easy for movement. Made out of leather. It looks like everything's kind of used and worn, very comfortable. She does, however, have quite a few necklaces and a jewel in her hair that she seems to wear with pride and confidence. And it looks very handmade, but very treasured.
And as the deer dips his head down once more, you feel your trainer beside you, your master, touch you on the shoulder, indicating that it's time to go.
With an extreme burst, she jumps towards the deer.
Bursts out of the bushes with rustling, and the deer's head twitches, but at the same time its body moves and immediately dashes away from the movement. And you find yourself charging through the undergrowth, chasing this deer that starts to jink left and right, not currently trying to outmaneuver you, it's trying to outspeed you. However,
she's not going to let it.
no. You set your head down a little bit more so that you're concentrated on speed, but with enough so that your eyes can keep an eye out for trees coming up towards you. And you shift around a tree as one of the deer shifts around the tree, and finally decides to jink to the left. You dig your heel into the ground and jump to the side, effectively slowly cutting off its direction of escape.
Perfect. I feel encouraged. I feel like I know what I'm doing. This is where I'm meant to be. And I am determined to get this deer and cut it off. Because this is how I need to prove myself. The only value is being able to prove myself, show my strength. And Crix is watching me right now, and all I want is to show her how good I am.
And then, just as you're getting in, closing on its hindquarters, it tries the same move again, except for in the other direction. It tries to jink to the right, but it stumbles on its footing, and you see an opportunity and just launch at its stomach and essentially crash down onto it, holding it as it kicks and as it moves, and you move your arm up to its neck and you just hold it there so it can't struggle, it can't move, as it starts to slowly kick itself, exhausted. And you hear, coming from kind of behind you a little bit, you hear Crix pushing through the undergrowth, and she moves out into where you can see her, and she says, "Not bad. Not bad at all. Are you going to keep it?"
Well, we need dinner tonight, do we not?
I have dinner prepared. This was not a hunt. This was a test and a challenge.
Then, once the deer is a little bit calm and my breath is calm, I will get up and let the deer go.
You kind of stand up, put it back on its legs, and let it go, and it trots. It kind of, it doesn't trot. It bursts out as soon as you release it. It's kind of struggling a little bit, but it's quite tired at this point. And as you're watching it go, Crix steps to your side, to your shoulder, and like someone asking a student to repeat something they've been told 100 times, she says, "And why do we let the things go that we hunt when we don't need to eat them?"
Because everything deserves to have life, and we only take from the world and the land of what we need.
We only ever take what we need. It doesn't do to be greedy. It doesn't do to demand more. To demand more than what we deserve.
Correct.
Especially when you are as strong as we are.
It's always humbling to remember that with strength and power, we always have to be gentle and kind and aware of what we take.
Being gentle and kind is admirable at all times. Even more so when you are capable of not being gentle or kind.
Yes, Chris.
Now let us go back home for a bit. And you start to walk back through the forest. You break out of the forest. There's a few trees dotted here and there, but you're moving up the mountain, and you live at a place called Peak. And Peak is situated on a vast range of mountains called the Steel Spine. It is massive mountains that range all the way down the western part of this part of Lys. And the village of Peak, the people of Peak, are quite interesting. At the age of 12, the children of anyone in Peak leave home and personally carve out their own house. It can take days, it can take a week, but once they have left home at about 12, they are independent from their family. The people of Peak put a high value on individualistic strength and power. Once they have carved out a home in the mountainside for themselves, they are joined by a master, by a trainer. Someone who imparts upon them knowledge, wisdom, and training to survive. In return, as the master gets older, the student will provide for the trainer when they can no longer hunt, when they can no longer fend for themselves. And that way, knowledge is passed from elder to younger, but respect is maintained, and their own knowledge and their own abilities transfer and keep them alive. As you go up, you wander into the carved out cave on this mountainside. There's a small fire, bubbling pot. It's quite small, but you haven't been here that long. Maybe 4 or so years. And you have been carving out more and more of it as you go. You know, you can always make a house bigger when it's a mountain and you have to carve into the mountain.
Yes.
Here, you have managed to find quite a nice spot. You have climbed quite high and it has a beautiful view. However, this time, there is some parchment and very basic scrawling on it, essentially, from one of the village elders. Very simply telling you, you are going to be a rider. The call has gone out, and you will make your way to Harrowhold, the Dragon Roost, and apply to become a dragon rider.
Crix, do we believe that this is what's best for my training?
There are very few things more powerful than a dragon and their rider. With this, you can elevate yourself far further than I could ever take you.
But you've taken me so far.
And now you can go further. The only thing I want to see is you surpass me.
With honor and strength, I always will do you proud.
I know. You did me proud the first day I stepped into your home. You did me proud the first hunt we went on. You did me proud yesterday. You did me proud today. And I have no hesitation in thinking that you'll do me proud tomorrow.
I look forward to returning and showing you the strength.
Well then, I think it is time to go claim my place that no one has taken for 20 years. The spot at the peak for the trainer of a dragon rider.
That's a big honor for you too.
It is. I'm not a little bit proud of myself.
You should be proud.
And she gets more serious for a second. Puts one hand on the side of your face and looks directly into your eyes. And says, "Don't forget my lessons."
I could never.
And always be who you are. And you will be fine.
With honor and strength.
I look forward to seeing you again. But do not hurry back. Whenever I see you, will be when I see you.
Come back when I'm ready.
And I may use this place every now and then if you don't mind.
It is yours to use.
Wonderful. Well, I will leave you to gather your things, and I will say farewell now.
Farewell to you, Crix. I will keep your name with pride.
Farewell, Rithera Crix. I hope your partner is as powerful as you are.
And Rithera would bow, not having any other words to say.
And Crix bows. And then turns around and moves out, the wind whistling across the mouth of the cave. Her footsteps disappear quite quickly, and you're by yourself.
Taking a moment to just stand and watch her go. Rithera doesn't hold on to much, as we are a people who don't need much.
Yeah. And anything you need, you can catch on the way, basically.
Yeah, she looks around at where she started and smiles to her.
One thing you have as you leave the mouth of the cave is a very small little bump of stone that is part of the cave floor and part of the mountain that gave you a real amount of difficulty on the first day that you carved around to remind yourself of how difficult things can get. Just a little bump with scratch marks.
Perfect.
And
Take it.
you two
Go ahead.
walk out of the cave and set off on the road towards Harrowhold. So, we fade out on Rithera Crix, making her way down the mountain. And we move to an entirely different place from where we've been so far. Under a mountain, in a place called Lowhold. It is industrious. It is busy. It can be dark in the deeper tunnels, but it is rowdy, it is lively, it is energetic, it is boisterous. And the people of Lowhold have quite close ties to Harrowhold. They allow the dragons to roost with their riders on the mountain that they inhabit underneath. They even share their food and everything when needed. And they maintain the homes as well, partially out of respect and gratitude. With the dangers of mining, tunneling, life under a mountain, Lowhold has a few interesting quirks to it. All children born are raised communally in dormitories together. They consider all the children raised with them, raised in Lowhold, to be brothers or sisters. Siblings, uncles. It creates a very close-knit community, for the most part. The parents do still visit when they can, but often they are busy with work, with essentially the day-to-day running of Lowhold. And they don't often have the time to dedicate, or the ability even, to raise a child themselves, which is why they are always left to the dormitories, left to the matrons. Now, there are times when a child from Lowhold is not completely treated as a sibling, as a brother, when they can be a little bit isolated. This is often because Lowhold is all about industry. It is about metalworking, it is about stoneworking, leatherworking. It is turning raw materials into something useful. And as we look in at the corner of one of the dormitories, there is a slightly smaller, even by the standard of those who live underground, quite small already. There is a smaller boy, young man, at a desk, kind of fiddling away industriously with something. So, Perry, would you like to give a little description?
Yes. So this, well, small was not an understatement. He's about 4'7". Maybe a little big for his age.
Yeah.
The matron has promised that he'll maybe get another inch, be a little more mine-worthy, but we'll see. He's been told that every year for the last 4. So, yeah. But you'd see this little guy. He's got his goggles. He jingles whenever he walks. There's usually parts and pieces and tools kind of all over in his coat, in his pockets. Always working at something, and doesn't usually notice when tufts of hair escape his hat until it gets way into his vision and causes a problem. But yeah, he's been not really, I don't know, he looks tired all the time, but he has too much energy. He's kind of that kind of person. Always working, always into something, doing something, wanting to fix things or take them apart.
If we were to define him, he's the type of person who, when lights go out in the dormitory, he has his covers over his head with a light, reading books or tinkering.
He got yelled at one too many times, so he had to get a dimmer light, thicker blanket.
And as he is at this table, there are smaller children from essentially what you might call a new generation. Toddlers, even a bit older, running around, screaming, playing. Probably something that at this point, Perry just completely, zones out. However, a moment does catch his attention as one of the smaller children trips over as they're screaming and essentially falls onto what they were carrying, which is like a small toy horse, like mostly metallic, and it's just bent and twisted, and bits have fallen off it.
Get in here. Come on.
Okay.
It's all right.
Yeah. It like holds up the horse.
I got a couple of pieces for this. Sorry, it looks bent. That's okay. Hand me the foot over there.
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can snap that back into place. Oh, it's modular. That's easy. Here you go.
And you pass him back the toy horse, fully repaired and untwisted and unbent. And he looks at it for a second, and like when he fell, there was a little misting of the eyes, a little bit of a like, I fell, I wrecked something, I'm sad, I'm not really sure why exactly, but I'm a little bit sad. When you give it back to him and it's all fixed and better, he actually, a couple of tears do like well out of the side of his eye, and he looks up and says, "Thank you, big brother."
Oh, you're welcome. Go fun.
Okay. And he just like, and like throws the horse across the room, and it like lands on a bed somewhere.
I'll fix that again tomorrow. It's fine.
A little bit after this, you hear the big doors of the dormitory opening as Matron Martella bustles in, looking around like, now, okay. Yes, calm down. I am not here for any of you. Can you please calm down, or... well, you don't know what will happen. And she kind of pushes through some of the young kids who kind of, charge around her and get in her way. And she seems to be making a beeline directly for you.
Oh, wait, is it today? Start just grabbing tons of things and shoving them in my pockets.
And as she goes towards you, she has this put upon stressed look that turns into more exasperation. As she walks towards you, she says, "Perry Quartz, are you not ready?"
I'm almost. It's almost ready. I have to get a couple more bags.
"Your cart is here." You
Okay, one bag.
You cannot take all of these bags, Perry.
That one though has the.
It doesn't matter what they have. There's not enough space for you and all of these bags.
I could carry like
one bag.
All right.
We agreed that 2 days ago. One bag.
I thought we maybe said 2 this time.
We said 1, mister. And you know it.
I could take out one of the rations. Yeah, we'll get food there. That's fine.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, what do we not do? We don't keep people waiting. There is a nice man waiting with a cart to take you to Dragonhold. Harrowhold.
And well, I mean, basically the same thing. And at least a couple hundred years ago, they called it Dragonhold for a little bit, and it got a little dicey. They didn't really like calling it that. Anyway, he's waiting. Who is it?
Well, it's just the man who drives the cart.
All right. Okay.
Didn't ask his name. I don't have oodles of time just spilling out of my hands. You are already wasting
Yeah, sorry.
the
Yes,
oodles
I'll go.
have.
Start standing up, grabbing the. I don't want you to waste your oodles.
Come. And she bustles you. Takes
Would you
out
say
of the
goodbye to
dormitory.
Mom and Dad for me?
Of
Be great.
course.
They're on shift for another few hours, but they'll get it.
They know where to send letters. I'm sure you'll receive them soon enough.
Oh yes, of course.
she
If they could send my second bag. Okay. Yeah.
And
yeah.
she bustles you out of the dormitory, through the big hallways. It's very lively, lots of people wandering around, singing, cheering, drinking, all of that type of thing. The only thing of note as you go through the tunnels, as you go through the halls and get to the main entrance, very, very large iron cast gates, is at the top of the gates is not really a motto, it's more the inscription of Lowhold for any who leave, that says in kind of almost runic letters, "Those who see the light often end up blinded." Yes, yes, yes. Come on now, come on now. Now's not the time to worry about things like that.
Where about?
Oh no!
So-
Come on, hold on. She spins you around and then like reaches into her pocket, and this kind of handkerchief comes out, and she licks it, starts dabbing at your face, like around your cheek and around your eyes. No,
fine,
no,
a little
you are
didn't
greasy
hurt anyone.
and you are messy, and you will not go to become a dragon rider looking like this.
That was. We don't get to be too.
All right.
The saddle I'm working on is really cool. Just saying.
Okay, but look at me. Stand up straight.
Yes.
Stand up straight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look at you. Fine figure of a man. Okay.
Oh, you were talking to me.
Yes,
All right.
yes,
Yeah.
I was talking to you. And I believe that you're ready to go. And she kind of like gestures over towards a cart.
Thank you, matron, for all your help.
Thank you, Perry.
The horse is probably gonna break again for Tom.
I'm sure someone will be able to fix it, don't worry.
All right. Okay. Is there anything? No, I got my bag. Okay, let's go. Bye, matron.
And as you wave and turn, she says, "Oh, Perry,
Yes.
good luck. And we do love you."
Thank you. We love you too. I. Yeah. Bye.
Farewell.
He runs off.
And you
Just jumps
jump
into the
on
cart.
the back of the cart and yeah. And you two head off on the road towards Harrowhold Dragon Roost. And the scene fades. And we come back in. Different part of the area again. In a garden to the north of this area called Cargilia. Very prosperous, very nice, very clean, very shiny. Massive towers all over the city, smooth, almost don't look constructed. It looks like they just sprung out of the ground. And we go to a garden where a young girl is sitting on a bench, a marble bench, in a very opulent, rich garden next to an opulent, rich mansion. She's staring up at the birds flying around her head as they cheep and they chirp and they make all manner of annoying noises. Cassandra, a little bit about you.
So you will see, as you said, a young elven woman who, she's very neat. Well, tries to be very neat. The hairstyle and outfit is very scholarly chic, or attempting to. Things are a little bit off. We've got a few odd curls, a few flyaways. Does her best. And as always, a book to the side. Always got to have at least one going with you anywhere, just in case. And daydreaming a little bit about hitting these birds with the book. They are very distracting.
Yes. And as you're sitting there, drifting in mind, probably, a little bit, you hear the door open from the veranda. A click and some very prim and proper steps as a servant bustles out and walks towards you and stops in front of you and does a very quick dip bow. He has like the white gloves and the the proper suited up, He has like a kind of a cloth over his hand as well, and he appears to be carrying a letter. Milady Cassandra, I have a letter here for you.
Oh, thank you. I'm just gonna take it off the...
There you go. When you open it up, it is an acceptance letter from Harrowhold. Your application to join the call to join the Dragon Riders has been approved.
Oh, is Mother home? Have you seen her?
I believe, unfortunately, she is out at the moment, but she has left you a letter in your room if you would like to go and read it. I have prepared your things, and there is a carriage awaiting you outside to take you on the road, with armed escort, of course, to Harrowhold.
Oh, yes, well, I shall go read this letter and go, then.
Of course, Miss Cassandra. Please, do call for me if you need me before you leave.
Thank you, Edmund.
Bows, steps back.
I'm gonna sort of try and compose myself. I'm gonna go read this letter.
Been a while since your mum has, written to you, as it were.
I'm like, oh no, I want to tell her.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna maybe I can meet her before I head off.
Yeah. So you run up to your room. There's a suitcase essentially that you can take with you. Everything, all your clothes have been folded in it, and a few books and like references and that type of thing. And there's a letter on the top of it that is very immaculately scripted and says, Cassandra.
I know my mother's handwriting anywhere, so I'm going to open that neatly. We don't tear in this house.
We do not tear. The letter essentially says that she is sorry she can't be there to see you off as you are leaving. Unfortunately, Oswald, one of your older brothers, has a presentation for a new theory of magical application that she just couldn't miss. It was too important. And the letter goes on to say that she expects you to do very well to become a Dragon Rider, and includes a list of reading materials and study guide so that you can catch up with the rest of your siblings.
Oh.
And then it finishes, Mother.
Okay. And obviously Cassandra's like distraught.
She's by
by
herself,
this.
so she
It's-
can crack a little bit if she wants.
Yeah, a little cry, but it's not. We can't let that out.
No.
It's not surprising, but it is disappointing again for this to happen. And the little dig catching up. Yep, pretty normal. Okay, just start gathering those extra tomes and maybe another one that maybe like her favorite little book that Mother doesn't know about. Fiction books. That's a waste of time. So we'll just get that out from the hiding spot behind the encyclopedia and pack that in. And I'm just gonna have to go without seeing anyone.
And you move out, take your suitcase. I was waiting for that to happen.
Oh no.
How does it look? Okay.
Oh, it was my fault, wasn't it?
That's alright. We'll take a moment where we'll just put this on this and see what's happening. No one panic. We had a frozen Katie who hopefully we'll be back in a second.
That's what I get for making a Frozen joke.
Mm,
And then it
Conceal,
happened.
don't feel.
Thank
you-
you. That's the
Yeah,
should have
that
just
is
let it go.
very unfortunately accurate.
Yeah. Made that, and then all of a sudden Katie drops from the call, like, oh God, what have I done?
That's what's happening.
Okay, in that case, what I will do is, if you want to turn your cameras off aside from you, Cassandra,
Ah, okay. Oh, yeah.
we will go back and we will move. Oh, this is going to be a little bit tricky, but we can do it. There we go. And then just move me a bit. Well, that's why that's not working. Maybe we should just leave it until
Yeah, because Katie's going to join
Katie's back.
again.
Yeah, it'll-
And,
I was
then
hoping
after.
to get the the last bit done, but what we'll do is we will go back to here and take 5 minutes so the cast can take a little break and wander around, and then we'll come back once Katie is back and everyone's ready, and we'll continue the story. So
Wonderful.
be right back, everyone. So, where were we? Just a very quick aside. Internet went out for a second for Katie. It may happen again. We're hoping not, but we'll roll with the punches. These things happen, as we all know. Let us not forget the infamous Josh kicking his modem incident. It was very
That's a
funny.
good moment.
He basically took all of the characters to a sacrifice, panicked, and went, oh, like that, and kicked his modem and froze, like...
Yeah, we all just thought he left to avoid consequences.
Yeah. So,
Well done, Josh.
It's sad again, okay.
yes. You make your way down the hallways, the empty rooms, out of the front door to a waiting carriage. There's a few people on horses waiting beside you, decked out in quite resplendent armor. The door is open. I guess you
I'm
just
just
step
gonna
in.
step right in. Yeah, it's nothing that's out of the ordinary for traveling around, really.
Okay. And someone steps down, closes the door for you. You hear a of reins, and the horses start to clip-clop down the paved streets. And you, as well, head off on the road to Harrowhold, the Dragon Roost. And the camera fades out as we move forward in time a little bit. As on the required day, the day when all of the aspirants, the prospective dragon riders, make their way to Harrowhold. All of you individually will walk up the road and be presented with what is essentially giant mount. I mean, you see them in the distance. There are instances where some of you can probably see them from your homes. They are big. And they pierce the clouds. Sometimes you can, if you're nearby, you can even see shapes of dragons circling the mountains. Harrowhold itself is the middle one, the largest one, but it is surrounded by other ones as well. And to give you an idea of what this kind of looks like, it is essentially a chimney in the shape of a mountain. It is straight up, and it is rocky and craggy, and it has bits of tree on it, and it has bits of grass where there's like a flat area. Sometimes some of them look more green than stone. And you walk into a cleared area. There is a tree with no leaves. Essentially, it almost looks dead, but it also, at the same time, looks full of life, if that makes sense. It merely has no petals on it, currently. In front of the tree, in this clearing, is a stone and wooden archway that leads towards steps that descend downwards. And all around here is about 1,000 people. All children, young adults, around the ages anywhere from 14 to 18. They are all aspirants who have come to answer the call for more Dragon Riders. And around you, past this like kind of cleared dirt area, there are multiple huts, almost like yurts, kind of leather covered. They seem to be covered mostly in leather and skeletoned by bones. Some massively large, some seem to have been crafted and changed so that they can support these structures. There's a lot of them. They currently seem to be empty. Everyone, about 1,000 people, everyone is gathered in the center here, talking, like back and forthing with each other. And additionally, behind the tree is Harrowhold itself, with a big tower at the foot of it that turns into stairs that wind up and around. As you look up, you can see many instances of domiciles, what looks like huts, jutting directly out of the mountain itself. It seems to be created and crafted, but currently the skies are empty, and you just stare up at this giant mountain. Until you hear woof, 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 as 11 shapes descend from Harrowhold and spin around your heads, going in circles. Large, some of them with 3 heads, some of them are spindly and are like, they're like snakes in the air. They go all over the place. Others are fast and zippy and just direct lines straight. And then others, a bit slower, a bit more ponderous, but powerful. You see multiple different colors shine in the sun. And as they all come around, flames start to burst out. You see purple flame, you see blue flame, you see gold flame, or many different colors. And after a moment, they all swing around and come down and land around the tree in a semicircle with heavy thumps. And the ground, you feel almost like it shakes, with 11 dragons landing in front of you. Some of the children, some of the young adults who are further ahead, kind of shuffle backwards and bump into each other, trying to. They're not that close, but they're still trying to get out the way. And what you see. Give me a moment. There it is. I have a lot of notes. What you see as far as you can tell, are dragons. As I said, different number of heads. Some are longer. I don't imagine you'd be particularly familiar with the designations of dragon type, so I won't describe the type of dragons you see. I will, however, tell you their colors. You have a purple dragon, a pink dragon with its scales almost like glistening as you look at them. They like shift. A light blue dragon, almost looks like it should have little white patches on it, like it's the sky. A violet and gold dragon, a green dragon, red, brown, grey, another purple one, and another sky blue one. And at that point, you notice one of the three-headed dragons, because it steps up forward towards you. It is purple, and its heads shift and move to the sides, and then back, and then down, and they almost like hypnotic, as a very tall, hair down to his shoulders, like strikingly platinum blonde, jumps off of the dragon with a clank and walks towards the gathered masses in front of you. And he says, "Greetings. I am Agatia One-Eye." And you see, as you look at him, although to a certain degree, depending how far back you are, etc., you'll get less of a view or more of a view. He does indeed have one eye, with a straight cut line down his left eye. The other eye is blazing purple. The iris is vibrant purple, and sometimes seem to shift with flame, almost like moving around in the well of his eye. As I said, my name is Agatia One-Eyed, and this is Acacia. And he gestures back to the three-headed purple dragon, my partner. I thank all of you for coming here today. As aspirants, you have already come further than many would imagine to come. Unfortunately, most of you will have to leave in disappointment, as this call calls for only 44 dragon riders. And even then, perhaps not all of you, perhaps not all of those 44 will be achieved here today. Now, I am looking for my training pod, and I shall separate you into groups of 20. We shall go down into the temple together, and we will see the eggs that may hatch for you all. And he steps forward and starts organizing everyone into groups. Groups of 20, basically from the front, and wedged up all together so that they can be taken down to view the eggs. Now, my question here. You are essentially all within the crowd. You have not met each other yet, but are you in the same group? Are you in different groups? Are you near the front? Are you near the back? Feel free to discuss and decide. I'm happy with anything.
I'm 100% near the front.
Oh yeah,
with,
I would imagine
my
so.
little booklet, and I'm like, okay, so this means that. Don't know about that color. Don't know. like, yes, pick me first.
100%. I am in the front, as there would be no chance I would see anything if I was in the middle or back.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm paying 100% attention, but I'm definitely in front so I can see.
Yeah.
Rothera is pretty tall. She's like pretty close to 6 feet, so she'd definitely be standing at the back.
Okay. And apologies, I need to Ulcha.
I would be standing near the front, like just very intent listening to what the next steps are. Just more of like a duty kind of
Okay.
I'm very present and very like attentive to what's happening, so I would be near the front.
In this instance, I'm actually going to ask for a roll from you, please, Ulcha. Could you please
Okay.
give me a mental roll?
Sure.
Make
okay.
it mental, innit?
Yeah. So, okay, what would I roll for that? I roll a. I have a 1.
You,
The
as Ultra, you have. Oh, sorry, that would be a. Sorry, I'm already getting the names mixed up. So that would be a control roll, please, which would be 3d10.
3d10. Okay.
Yes. And seeing as you have no tags for this, you'll be rolling at 6 pluses. Okay, 1 success. I'll leave it up to you. There is something here to notice. It depends how much attention you're paying to the aspirants around you, or how much you're paying attention to that in front of you.
I am very much watching the dragons and the majesty of that versus my cohorts.
So, it goes past unnoticed, but who knows? There may be another opportunity in the future. For now, 3 of you are in early groups. I think most likely Cassandra and Ulcha, you are paired up into the same group. However, you're not first. A group of 20 is taken down by the blonde man, whose name is right here, I swear. By Agatia, sorry. He takes a group of 20 down. They're gone for maybe 10, 15 minutes. And then they come back up with many of the kids looking very upset, very sad, just kind of like immediately blanking everyone who's still up at the top waiting, and just moving away and leaving. 3, however, stay. 3 of them now have tiny, about the size of my hand, dragons on their shoulders, in their arms. One of them is very snaky and is essentially like draped around their neck. Another one is kind of like a little kitten or a little dog. You know, it's 4 legs and very stubby, flappy wings, tail twitching. And you can see all of the dragons and all of the riders behind seem to be very impressed. There's a little bit of murmuring, a little bit of conversation back and forth. You can't really catch it, but... So, they are taken away, and he goes to the next group and says, "Next group, come with me, please." They go down, 10 to 15 minutes. They come up with most of them leaving except for one, who also has a small dragon with him. At that point, someone new comes forward as Agatia takes away the four aspirants who have gained a dragon, and they disappear, and the big purple dragon flaps off and goes high up back towards the top of the mountain in front of you. The next one takes off and slides through the air and essentially snakes down and lands with no sound at all. Very soft, very a blast of air kind of whistles across your faces as the rider steps out. Dark, short hair, quite muscled, quite toned, and quite small. And he says, "My name is Beric Zerkian, and this is my partner, Hatari. I am looking for a pod to train, and you will come with me, and we will see which of those of you who are worthy of being taught." And he moves forward with no ceremony. The other guy, little bit kind of like, oh, it's so epic and wonderful. This guy's just like, all right, you 20, let's go. Little bit of time passes. More aspirants are chosen. Many more are rejected. Until it seems that 2 more instructors, 2 more Dragon Riders have gained 4 aspirants each. The third set is someone who proclaims herself as Nakur, and her dragon is very horizontal, very streamlined, very powerful looking, and is sky blue, and is called Kaorian. She gets her warriors, their aspirants, and a new one steps forward with his dragon. His dragon is very vibrant violet, and is, for all intents and purposes, a reasonably normal looking dragon. You know, it's the 4 legs, the wings, got the very kind of like almost looks like a brachiosaurus type, but with wings. You know, that kind of vibe. And he steps forward and says, "My name is Illigar Blisterskin, and this is my partner, Avenda." And you can see like the entire left side of his face and neck are all like scarred and like a crisscross of scars and things like that. And he points at Cassandra and Ulcha's group. "You will come with me."
Like immediately pottering after him. I've been bouncing off the walls. I can't believe I wasn't in the first group. Mother cannot hear of that.
I just burst into a big smile and try to keep to the front, or like try to keep.
Yeah.
So I'm probably like not too far behind Cassandra.
You're probably like shoulder to shoulder, really, just kind of like.
Yeah, and just trying to. I don't know. I want to be one of the first to see the eggs and see what's down there.
Okay. So. As you go, and as you kind of like you go down these steps, it's dark, it's very lightly lit, a few torches maybe, and you get to a completely black door. It's made of stone, maybe obsidian. And you can see runes, you can see carvings, but every time you look at one of them, they disappear because it's almost complete pitch blackness, this door. There are torches, but they don't seem to light up the doors themselves. And Illigar walks forward, puts his hand out to his sides, and says, "Voryagar das Nitendia." And there's like a clunk, and the doors just slide into the wall on either side of it. "Come, let's go." Step forward. The whole group goes, so I'm assuming you're going to stick with the group and stay at the front as much as possible.
Yep. Elbows.
Okay.
I'm probably glancing over occasionally because I'm sure we're jostling a little bit.
Yeah.
And
I'm not even like looking at anyone else. I'm like, mission. Gotta get in there. Gotta get my dragon.
Okay.
Gotta be the best.
And Illigar, you're both at the front, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Illigar turns around and looks at you, Cassandra, and says, "One of these eggs may be your partner. Step forward and consider them, as they will consider you."
Okay. And I'm gonna, walk towards the eggs that I guess are there.
Okay. And step forward. There are a few less than 44, but that makes sense because some of the eggs have obviously hatched. They are all grey stone. There is no difference between any of them. They're all exactly the same. And you step forward, you step on this kind of circular raised platform. And you look at them.
Is there anything? Am I supposed to do something else?
Walk forward. Hold your hand out and move along them.
Okay. Start doing that.
And you start to move down them until one, there's a shudder. And you stop and there's a crack and a crack and a crack. And then a snout pokes out of the egg. And the little jaws go and then retreat. And then an eye just goes to the edge of the egg and looks out, and you catch its eye. And no one sees this, but silver flame ignites in your eyelids, in your pupils. And you feel a well of warmth shiver across you. And then the head pushes out, and the long, snaky form of a silver, and 1 second here. You don't have to inhabit them yet, but a silver dragon, a silver longron, pushes out and jumps into your chest, into your arms, and then wraps kind of like halfway up your neck and then kind of around the top of your head and then rests on the top of your head.
Hi. Hello.
And so therefore, you are now bonded with this partner. We will talk soon about what this means. For now, look after him and keep him safe.
Okay.
And step off to the side, please, so others
Right.
can...
Yes. Right. I'm just gonna just gonna do that. Yeah, I'm gonna obviously step off to the side, and I'm like, oh, this is the best thing ever.
And so, a few others go up. No eggs move for them. Nothing hatches. Until Ultra, he looks at you and says, "Would you please step up and do the same?"
Give a nod like I'm accustomed to doing and walk over and follow what everyone else has done so far.
Okay. You stand there for a moment. You consider the eggs. Then you move forward, put your hand out, and start moving down them. Nothing. Nothing. Nothing.
I feel like with each step, just like disappointment sets in as like each egg doesn't respond, and I see the chances slowly passing.
And you get to the last one. Nothing. And Iliagar says, "A shame, but..." And as he's saying that, the egg explodes, and a red three-headed... 1 second. That is there. A red three-headed dragon bursts out of the egg and lands on top of you, bowling you over. Still small, but still very, like, heavy. And three heads start licking your face, like, all over, just like...
I immediately just start hugging it. Hello. Hi. And I look over at the gentleman bringing us through, and I'm just like you can't hide the excitement on my face.
Yeah.
And I start petting each of the little 3 heads, and I just clutch it to my chest.
Yeah, and like you're kind of like half lying, kind of like bowled over by this thing, and you're just kind of like, you know, like, oh, hello, yes, hello, and it starts like bouncing around on top of you, just like cavorting around, and congratulations, you have a red hydrang.
I'm gonna scoop up this little thing, and I'm gonna just hold it, and I'm not gonna be paying attention to what anybody else is doing right now. I'm just so hyper focused on my new friend.
Okay. So, not long after that, Perry, your group is called, and you are led down. The same words are spoken, the same master is searching through groups to find more. He actually went through 3 or 4 more groups before he picked yours, and none came back up with dragons. For now, Cassandra and Ultra, you are both stood off to the side, awaiting your master to fully form his pod.
Can I take a moment to talk to Cassandra?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, I would notice that we were in the same group and that you had also gotten a dragon. So I'd bring my little
your
treasure
guy,
with me.
Like Cassandra's is like chill and just like resting and kind of snoozing. Yours is like struggling and looking and licking things and nibbling things, and it's all over. And like your feathers, like 2 have already been taken out and chewed.
I'm just trying to control it, and I imagine it's like when you get a puppy in your hands and it's just squirming around.
Yeah, it's all over the place.
You can't. But I'm just ignoring the fact that it's doing that and just like so happy. So I'm gonna walk over to Cassandra. You got one too.
Yes. Are you going to do something about that?
What do you mean?
I mean, it's eating your clothes.
Oh, it's okay. I can just get more and put them back on. It has 3 mouths, so it's gonna grab a lot, I think.
I'm just gonna like slightly lean out of range a little bit more, like.
Yeah, it was kind of going for a little nibble at your hand.
Well, I suppose if that's how you want to raise your dragon.
Well, I mean, I don't know how to raise a dragon. I'm hoping they'll teach us a little bit. It is a baby.
Still, some control.
Oh,
My name's Ultra.
Cassandra Linton.
Well, it's nice to meet you.
Yes, nice to meet you.
Maybe our dragons could play someday.
Perhaps.
there's a hiccup from your Dragon Ultra, and a little like burp of smoke just goes and just like kind of curls and dissipates.
You're a gassy one. Just start petting it.
One day, perhaps.
Yeah, I think that would be fun.
And back down in the temple, a few people have gone through the ritual and failed. Now, Iliagar turns to you, Perry. I'm not going to say that he looks dismissive, but I would say you're used to people having lower expectations of you, and therefore you probably pick up on a bit of a calm kind of like, you can do this, but I'm not expecting anything. And there's a certain resigned attitude to it as well. He's been through quite a few more than the other trainers, the other masters so far. Well, if you would like to step up.
Yeah. Okay. Let's, what do I do exactly?
Consider the eggs as they will consider you, and then approach them with your hand out and go over all of them and see if one chooses you.
Oh. Okay, I thought I had to like test for like hardness or other thing. No, that's fine. I can just walk. Okay. All right.
I begin to like walk with my hand out, but occasionally like ear and maybe tapping very gently with a screwdriver on some of the eggs as I walk past.
As a very slight sidebar, because I've forgotten, it's my fault. Ultra, when your dragon jumped on you, no one saw it aside from you feeling the shiver across your body. Your pupils lit red for a moment and ringed with fire.
Okay.
Perry, the first the first egg you step to cracks.
Oh, that was
cracks.
That's what's supposed.
Bits start to fall off, and as it all falls away, curled up upon itself with its wings wrapped around itself, almost taking up the space of the entire egg, unfolds a dragon. You could mistake it for a mud ball, the amount of bog standard brown it is colored. And we will just do that. As it unfurls, very slowly, very measured, and its neck spins up and turns to look at you as you're staring at it, you feel a shiver, and your pupils ring. No one else can see it, but your pupils ring with brown flame.
Aha. Hello.
The dragon stares at you and then hops towards your arms, even though you're not you're not ready to catch anything. And it just and jumps into your arms.
Okay. Is this good?
That is good. You have started the meld. Now, you can head up and join the rest of my students.
Oh yeah.
I will be with you shortly.
Oh.
Once
okay.
I find the last.
Okay, go now. Okay, yeah, let's go.
Begin to like
And
jog up the stairs.
As you jog up the stairs and hurry out, you hear now that they're kind of resigned again. The excitement kind of gone from his voice. The next one. And time passes, more and more groups are left with no aspirants coming back with dragons. Until eventually he comes to your group, Rithera. And he leads you down, same thing, speaking in a strange, reverberating language to a door. It opens, and there are eggs. A few people go before you, hands out, nothing happens, they seem upset and they leave. And then he turns to you, studies you for a moment, and then says, "Would you please step up and do the same?"
With a head nod, she walks up, not saying anything, and very calculated almost.
Yeah.
Just stands and it's very just this is the movement that I do, and this is what I was told. And hand goes over the first egg, waits a beat, and then if nothing happens, continues to the next one.
And you start to go down egg to egg, nothing to nothing. And then as you're about a quarter of the way down, an egg in the middle starts to shake. You haven't even got to it yet. And it's rocking back and forward, and then it just topples and hits the ground and smashes. And I'm assuming you want to go over to it?
I would definitely go over to it and just almost look at it, because I'm used to you pick yourself up.
Yeah.
So I'm watching it and looking to see the strength of this dragon and how it proves itself from the very first moment.
The first thing you see underneath the large shell that's over it is a tail flip out. And it is a deep, dark blue. As the egg rises and a kind of small mouth and jaw come out from under it and grab it and just crunch it and start crunching it and flip it, and you see a two-legged, kind of already reasonably long-winged and armed deep blue dragon that once it's finished demolishing the egg in a very aggressive fashion, I may say, its head snaps up to you and your eyes meet. You feel a shiver and no one can see it, but thin blue flame outlines your irises for a moment.
With a smile and a nod, I will extend my hand down, not bending down, but like letting it know that it can come to me.
It like moves towards you and jumps on with its like, so its wings have like kind of clawish hands. They work okay, and it like jumps onto your leg and then like starts climbing up your leg, stops about at your hip, and then swivels and jumps at your hand, and misses a little bit, but also grabs your hand with its mouth.
You're gonna see a little bit of a shudder, but not anything that would try and...
It's a pinch.
Yeah.
It doesn't
And
even
then-
draw blood.
And then up to the shoulder.
Yeah. And at that point, Iliagar steps up to you and says, "Congratulations. You are the last member of my trainee pod. Please go and join the others, and I'll be with you shortly."
Thank you.
And you move out.
And I follow.
And-
And I, yes, go where it's instructed.
And you hear Iliagar say, "Please, the rest of you, consider yourselves, but if you are chosen, you will not be part of my trainee pod." And the ritual carries on. However, the pod members of Iliagar Blisterskin have been chosen, well, along with the pod members of the Violet Dragon known as Avenda. What I will say is, once Rithera joins with her dragon, you are all together for maybe 5 to 10 minutes if anyone wants to talk or discuss. I will say, if you don't, it's understandable. Some of your dragons are a handful, specifically you, Rithera, and you, Ulcha. Additionally, not to break out of the moment or anything like that. However, what I will say is that you now know who your dragons are and what color and what type they are. So, I will go through them one by one. We will start with Rithera. You have a deep blue wyvern as your dragon. Wyverns are fast, powerful, but not strong. We'll talk later about what the deep blue means. Next up, Cassandra. Your dragon is a Lungron. They are snake-like. They don't have wings. They actually, when they do fly, they manipulate air currents through what is considered to be some type of magical technique. They're very fast. They are very agile, and very often their hunting techniques involve much more snake constrictory type moves. They are also the only dragon that is aquatic. They can hold their breath for a long time. They can swim underwater. It does mean their flame is weaker. And your Longron is silver. Again, we'll talk about what that means in the future. But it's interesting. Sorry, and that would be there. As you can see, I'm putting the overlays for your dragons as we go through them. Next up is Ultra. 3-headed means that you have a Hydrang. They are large, powerful, very sturdy, very able to take a beating if they need to, and very aware. It is exceedingly difficult to sneak up on anything with 3 heads, especially when they're all on the lookout. Your dragon is red, and we will talk about that later when it becomes... As they grow, they come into their power. And finally, Perry, your dragon is a dragon. Standard, well, not standard, but the typical European 4 legs, 2 wings, quite majestic looking. They're very magically gifted. They tend to have a lot of stamina, and yours is a brown dragon. Which again, we'll talk about what that means later, but I imagine all 4 of you have an idea of what you're in for now. And we'll talk about some of the intricacies of your dragons and stuff as we go in the future. For now, if any of you would like to talk, what I will say is that as we go, we're going to be skipping through time a bit. You will all have enough time to talk about and get to know each other. So those backstories, well, not backstories, those introductions that we will have with your characters, you'll know a lot as time goes on, depending on how much you want to share, you know, about where you come from and those type of things. So. Is everyone too enamored with their is everyone like, oh, but dragon, like, yeah, there's people, but ooh, but dragon?
I think like once I've kind of calmed down a little bit, I will be comparing.
Of course.
At some point, yeah, it's gonna happen. So, scoping everyone out, I guess. Okay. Judging their control and.
I've probably sat down somewhere. I don't know if there are tables. Like, what's the room that we're in like? In this like meeting hall with all the.
Oh, you're for right now. You're off to the side until Iliatar comes to.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he'd probably just be sitting down on the ground, got his bag open, like dragon plopped in front of him, and is like got calipers out and is measuring the dragon and wingspan and other things as it's probably just looking up at him. I don't even know. It was pretty calm, so maybe it's hopefully it's just letting me do this.
It's pretty chill.
Yeah, so just kind of scoping out, looking in its eyes, like occasionally I give a little scritch on the head, but just trying to figure out all of the anatomy of this little baby dragon, and then jotting notes down occasionally.
Okay. Anyone else?
I'd be looking around and just like keeping an eye out, like taking that awareness of not judgment, not anything like that, but just looking how everybody else is kind of handling things. Because this is very different than what I'm used to.
Yeah.
Like I'm used to people just being very like, this is my task. This is what I do. And I'm seeing a lot of hustle and bustle.
Very varied set of people as well, all from different places and reacting in different ways.
And I'm trying to also not let my excitement out too much and like stay true to who I am. But like on the inside, all I want to be doing is like staring at
Oh
my
god,
dragon.
oh my god. I have a dragon.
Because I didn't, I've been told what to do the whole time, and now I feel kind of open.
Yeah.
And so I'm like constantly just trying to do the little look over, but not make it obvious.
Definitely like subconsciously every now and then, just like this. Like when you with the hair curl, you're like, yeah, dragon.
Just a dragon.
Dragon.
I'd be sitting, playing with my dragon, trying to entertain it. Probably getting my hands bit a little bit as I'm playing with it.
Bit nibbled. You're being bowled into. Like, it's not big enough to do any. It's like a kitten bowling into you. But
yeah, I think that I'm just too enamored with the fact that I have this little dragon, and that the high of it exploding out of the egg when I thought that I didn't have a chance. So I'm just like looking around at everybody while like trying to keep this dragon entertained. And I don't know, I'd probably see hopefully one of you, maybe Perry, sitting with the dragon. You got one too?
Oh, yes.
What's that kind? And I kind of get up and like drag some of my stuff and like grab dragon a little more absentmindedly, like pop on my shoulder.
When you pick up your dragon, it's not. It doesn't resist or anything. It's just kind of like relaxes and lets you like kind of.
It's the 5-year-old with a kitten kind of
very
look,
much so,
almost
yeah.
about the same height too. As he like drags some of the stuff and like plops himself down and looks and like,
I'm Perry.
Hi, I'm Ultra. This is my dragon. It has 3 heads.
Do they work independently?
like starts kind of looking and getting a little close.
It bites a little bit, but I think it's just play biting. And like I show my hands, and there's just like cuts and bites all over them.
Play, right? Yes. Okay. Yeah. You're what? Sagitta? How is that pronounced?
Sagacia.
Yeah, right.
Sagacia. Yes, I'm from Sagacia.
Oh, right. Yes. Low hold.
Oh, wow. So, how was the trip?
Long, bumpy carriage ride. Well, cart mostly. They were bringing in supplies, so it was mostly just stones and some of the quartz and a few other things. And I had a spot in the back. It was nice.
Have you been anywhere before? This is the first time I've ever been anywhere.
No, I don't like how bright the sun is.
Oh, I like that. It's not as cold here.
Kind of feels cold. Mountains hold a lot of the heat. It's nice in there, but it's fine out here. It's fine.
Well, I mean, they breathe fire, right? So like maybe they can make fires for us if we get cold.
Maybe fire.
And like kind of just like tap/pets his little brown dragon.
You make fire. Does Brown make fire?
I don't know. And can I kind of take my dragon and put it closer to the brown dragon?
Yeah.
Maybe they want to play together. This one, there's smoke that came out of it. This one's mouth. And I point to the head that the smoke puff came out of.
The middle one.
The middle head. Yeah, I think there is fire. And I'm going to place it next to the brown dragon. It's just probably rambunctiously moving around.
It's bouncing from front feet to back feet, like ba-boing, ba-boing, ba-boing. And the brown one's just sitting there, like just standing there, kind of like looking at it. And then it kind of like stops and crouches a little bit and then shuffles forward. And then its like mouth, like its head like extends out towards the brown dragon and like pushes it a little bit. And the brown dragon just like falls on it, just falls over on its side, just kind of like splays there.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Okay, maybe we need to calm down a little.
Picks up the brown dragon, kind of looks at it like
a defense mechanism.
It's like head moves and looks at you, and it's got like very calm eyes.
Mine has a lot of energy.
Mine looks like it wants to nap all the time.
I didn't know that. I thought they would all. I mean, that they'd all have the same amount of energy level. I didn't know that they would. I've only read about them. So
I know there's a few different kinds, so maybe it's the breed type. I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe hopefully they'll teach us, right?
I think so. I hope so.
Do
And
we name them? Did they say, or do they name themselves? I don't actually know how that works.
As you're chatting, Perry, you notice something. That the group that you went down, one of the kids there who didn't really stand out that much, but now does because he is coming up also with a dragon. He has like kind of shoulder guard, like maybe leather, but it's hard to tell because it has feathers like all over it, and they're like dark feathers that go to red. He has a very kind of like rough and dirty aspect to him. And because he was with your group, he comes up to the area where you were as the new master steps forward and says, "My name is Josere Che. You will be joining my training pod as Iliagar's is full now. What is your name?" And the boy, who looks reasonably old and not very intimidated by this woman, looks up at her, and you can see he has in his hand a dragon like yours, but yellow, not gold, like more like the color of a mature banana, if you know what I mean, like reasonably plain, a reasonably plain yellow. And he says, "My name is Jerix Kasorian." And that's it.
I raise my hand
To who?
because this person came up to both of us, right?
No, she came up to the Jerix Kasorian, the one with the yellow dragon who just stepped out.
Oh, okay. Never mind then.
They are close by, so if you want to, get her attention, you can.
I think I'd just be scanning and I'd probably notice Rithera and Cassandra.
I'll say, when he talks and he says, "My name is Jerix Kasorian," that sticks out to you.
Why? Do I know the name?
Yeah, you know Kasorian.
Oh. I suppose my ears would then perk up and I'd take a beat, probably get quiet for a second.
Take a little gander at the guy.
Mm-hmm.
He has like feathers on his shoulder pads, on his belt, on his like boots, and they are a darker color than yours with like red tips and I don't think you've ever seen this, but you've heard stories of this. And yeah, it is what you think it is. Someone from the cult.
Yeah, because when you said the feather thing, that kind of made my ears perk up. And
I saw you, yeah.
yeah, so I turned to Harry. One second, will you watch my dragon?
Oh, I mean, I'll try. If he runs, I don't know if I can catch him easily.
Okay, well,
yeah, I'll try.
I might need. Yeah, I guess they should have given us leashes. I'll be right over there. And I stand up and I walk over very cautiously, but it's kind of like one of those like drive-by situations where I'm trying to decide if I want to say something or not.
Yeah.
But if I'm gonna like stare at him, and then if he meets my eyes, I'll probably approach him.
Oh yeah, he between looking at his dragon, he looks up and immediately locks eyes with you and tilts his head to the side and says, What do you want, fluffy little bird?
I noticed your feathers.
Caught them myself. Killed them myself.
It's better to take them from the ground after they've already fallen.
Maybe if you're weak, I didn't need to.
You don't need to prove yourself by the ways that you do.
And he steps forward, and you can hear like a low rumble. Like, not threatening, but from his dragon, who is also looking at you. And he leans forward very slightly and says, I don't need to, but it is fun. And as he smiles, you can see his teeth are filed down into points, so they look like shark teeth.
I've read many stories. I have hoped it would be different.
I've heard many stories too, about the little owls who got scared and ran away. Hopefully you won't do that this time, little owl.
We don't resort to name-calling and belittling. Perhaps you're more afraid than you're letting on.
We'll see. I look forward to seeing you again soon. And he turns around and walks off.
I'll pray for you. And then I'll turn
He
and
pauses for a second and then carries on walking off.
under my breath as I turn, I say, "Blessed be the skies," and quickly turn back to Perry and see what is happening with him watching my dragon.
So
Probably just been trying to keep the two apart from each other because my dragon keeps just falling over. He's kind of doing this sort of thing and like.
And I rush over and I pick mine up.
Yeah.
And just try to like wrangle it with cuddles.
Like
when you pick it up, your heart's beating a bit faster. Your I wouldn't say your adrenaline's up, but you're a little bit unsettled. And when you pick it up, it stops struggling. It stops squirming and trying to like go crazy, and it kind of like curls a little bit into your arms, and then the two side heads just kind of snake around your neck in kind of like a. It would be threatening if it was, like hands or something, but it is. You can tell that it's a hug.
Oh. I think without it acknowledging it, but maybe instinctively knowing that it can sense maybe that I'm a little upset. Oh, you must have tired it out.
Oh, maybe, possibly.
And for a little bit, it's chill.
When it's chill, I'll take a moment to look around and try to spot Cassandra.
I've been watching this situation the whole time. Like, how is this happening? I'm not getting involved in helping Perry with that.
I'd probably look if I meet your eyes, Cassandra, and I'd wave with one free hand, like come over to our group.
Okay. I'm gonna head over. Okay, she's pointed me out. I have to. She's seen me. Okay. Hello, Cassandra Linden.
Hi, Perry Quartz. Good to meet you, Cass.
Like arms up.
Cassandra. I'll shake his hand like. Thanks.
Both your dragons kind of like perk up for a second, look at both of the opposite numbers and yourselves as well, and then settle back down. I will also say, Perry, there's an aspect of maybe laziness. It's a much more that your dragon is ridiculously chill. So if you pick it up, it immediately is like, okay, we're moving. I'm gonna just relax then. Like if when the red dragon was like poking at it, it fell over because it's like I've got no interest in jumping around and playing. I'm just gonna lie on the floor and chill. So.
Gotcha.
Well, could I scan and just what would Rithera be doing at this moment?
She'd be like super standing at attention. Like
Yes.
you're not sure if she's moved, if she's breathing. Like she's just very like statuesque almost.
She's with you guys, but not in the circle. She's like just slightly off to the side, just standing there, kind of like expectantly.
Yeah. And like probably like peeking glances and like watching. She definitely watched the exchange happen. But isn't really like making eye contact other than just like kind of looking forward and then trying to be excitedly looking at her dragon without being excited.
I feel like just because of what happened with, this encounter I just had, like, and I'm getting a hug from my dragon, my head's probably turning around at weird angles.
Oh, yeah,
so I would probably scan the room with this. And then, I'm great. I've noticed people don't do this here.
No.
Oh, you watch. And then I'm going to just completely turn my head around.
Oh, yeah, it just swings around.
And I'm going to look at, I would think Rithera's behind me and I'd probably make eye contact with you.
And her eyes like expand and go like almost full pupil.
Hello.
I'm Ulcha.
Rithera, is that natural?
Apparently, it's something special I can do that many others cannot.
Yeah, I definitely can't do that. That would be so helpful for hunting.
Oh, we don't use it for hunting, but here, and I'll slowly turn my head and I'm trying to encourage you to follow my head so that you come into the group so we can all face each other in a circle.
I'll move probably more to your shoulder, but like definitely not standing in front. I'm still like very at attention, right? Probably beside you.
None of you can do this?
Nope.
No.
As you're all talking, you hear a thwomp, and walking up to you, all of you, is, I think most of you would remember, because it's hard to forget the names of the dragon riders and their dragons, is Iliagar's dragon, a vendor. A big violet dragon who stops right in front of all of you, essentially towering above you. Think like looking at a T-Rex kind of vibe. And the giant head slowly lowers, and there's like a little rumbling in the throat. Not a growl, but just like almost like clearing of the throat. And then you hear
Frostagar ni tenendia forgantia.
and then the head moves back up. And the dragon
Meet you.
lies down and rests on its forearms and legs and just kind of lies there, like looking down at you all.
Did anyone understand what that was?
Nope.
Don't worry overly, as Iliagar steps round from behind the back of the dragon and walks towards you all. With time, as the meld takes form, you will be able to understand your dragon and all of the other ones. It is strange when you cannot and they try and talk to you. Now, I apologize before for not inquiring, but with respect, you were not important then. Now, I am curious. What are your names?
Perry Quartz.
Perry Quartz. It is a pleasure to meet you, and it is an honor to be your master.
Oh, thank you.
And he looks over at Cassandra.
Cassandra Linden, sir. I'll do like a little bow.
Cassandra Linton. It's a pleasure to meet you and an honor to be your master.
Thank you, sir.
And he looks over at Rithera.
Rithera Crix, and a informal bow.
Rithera Crix. Pleasure to meet you and an honor to be your master. And he pauses for a second and says, I believe that you are from the Steel Spine, correct?
From Peak, yes.
I know Peak. I'm from a village further to the north on the Steel Spine.
With honor.
We do not have the same customs or the same practices, but I would say close enough to consider ourselves a cousins of sorts. Apologies, and turns to Ulcha.
I am Ulcha Ban. It's a pleasure to be a part of this parliament.
Ultraban, it is a pleasure to meet you and an honor to be your master. And I would be very ignorant indeed if I did not recognize the garb of Scatia. In the past, you have provided some very fine riders.
I hope to continue that tradition.
I have no doubt you will. Now, if you will, please all follow me, and I will show you to your nest. And he turns and moves, and he does stop for a second and turn to his dragon and rumble something that is indecipherable to you, and then keeps going.
I'm gonna sort of put one hand on my dragon and look at everyone like, okay, and
Oh,
start
right.
walking.
Start shoving things in bags.
As he walks and you all go with him, he says, kind of points out to the side, this is one of the halls you can go to have food together. You must catch your own, you must cook your own, but you may eat together in the halls or in your nest if you desire. Once we get to your nest, we will talk more about your duties and your responsibilities going forward.
Are these like our families? These groups? We share a nest, a home?
Yes, to some extent. You are, all 8 of you, a pod. And seeing as you are not yet trained, you are my responsibility and my training pod. Now please, let us get to the nest and then we'll talk. And you may let your dragons run a little bit more free. And he takes you through big, leathery huts and tents, etc., until he comes to one a little ways away from the forest. Essentially, the forest kind of circles around this area to a certain degree. There are some paths that lead back behind the mountain and further. But you are not on the edge, but near the edge. And he says, points at one large kind of tent flaps at the front. I'd say probably the size of someone who's 6 foot and then maybe another half, so maybe 9 foot tall type thing. And he pushes through and into and says, come into your nest.
Got big doors.
Walk in.
Oh, Perry.
Yeah.
So, this is where you will live with your partners. You will sleep, and for now, you will look after them. Please let them go. If they want to sleep, they may sleep. If they want to run, they may run. We will have a conversation. master to students. You are no longer aspirants. You are trainee dragon riders. And he leaves you to do whatever you want to, like, put your dragons down or like, etc. And takes a seat at a table off to the side.
I go find wherever my bed would be.
There's
If
4
it's not-
beds. Take your pick.
Yeah. If they're bunks, he definitely is not getting a top bunk.
Oh, no, they're all...
Then you'll probably get whatever one is in the corner.
Yeah, they're essentially like leather mats on the floor. So,
Cool. Yeah, he'll grab whatever farthest one corner and just kind of start taking stuff out of his bag and sets his dragon down like on a pillow near him while he's organizing his mess.
I would say for Rithera and Ultra, this seems reasonably normal. For Perry, this seems a little bit lower rent than you're used to. And for Cassandra, this may be hell.
I'm like, where's the rest of the bed?
Where's the rest of the house?
Like, what? Surely this is just the exercise room.
Literally inside, it is bone and leather. Like, that's the house. It's bone and leather.
Oh, where?
Which bed are you
Where's-
taking?
Are these beds
This is nice.
nice?
Not raised,
Okay.
and it's not a stone slab with some padding, admittedly, but it'll do.
Better than I thought. I mean, honestly, it's just kind of what I have back home.
How dreadful.
What do you mean?
Well, where's the pillows and the throws
There's-
and the
Points
rugs?
like
and
one
the-
rolled up leather
No.
piece.
I think that's the pillow.
That's a. Sure.
You
It's hilarious.
you could make your own pillow.
I'm just like looking over Ultra's feathers for a second. Like,
I see you
how
catching
would
them.
one do that?
I could help you find feathers.
Perhaps.
They did
As
say
I'm
we have.
I was gonna say, as I'm unpacking, I'm just like pulling out quilt after quilt because I come from like a cold area.
I'm gonna like. Perhaps Edmund packed something for me. Like tearing through trying to find something
There's
to make this less dreadful.
what is essentially a very comfy looking silk dressing gown. Wrapped inside of which is a little plate with a cake, which is chocolate with chocolate sauce in the middle and chocolate sprinkles on the top. It's kind of like a slice, not a full cake, but it
I
is.
just have like a like. Oh no, it could be a homecoming cake. Oh no. What's it called? What's it called? Oh, Master
Iliagar.
Master Iliga. Are dragons allergic to chocolate or anything? Should they not have that? I know we had a dog once, and that well, it was a terrible thing. But yes, apparently it doesn't. Anyway, should they not have chocolate?
You will find there is very little that can upset the stomach of a dragon, even as young as they are right now, being newly hatched. Additionally, as I am now your trainer, you will call me master or teacher, as I shall call you student. Now please, everyone, come and join me, and I will tell you about what you have gotten yourselves into and about the road ahead.
All right, teacher.
Yeah, I'm gonna bustle sort of back, but I'm gonna like fold the cake back up really quickly and for later.
Okay. Interesting. That music should have stopped.
Cassandra's gonna have a tough time.
Mm,
What
do you mean make dinner? What's cooking? It wasn't in my studies.
So, I believe the first thing I should do is open the floor to questions, as it is easier than being interrupted in my experience, and there is a period of excitableness for all new dragon riders when they receive their dragon. Does anyone have any questions they would like to know from the start?
Dragon name. Do we name them? Are they name themselves? Do you have the name for the dragons? What do I call them?
He gets a kind of like slight. It's the first time his facial expression has really changed, and a very small smile curls at the side of his lip. It was my experience when a vendor had grown and could communicate. We decided together on what she would be named. I understand sometimes riders like to name their dragons. Sometimes the dragons prefer that too. I would say wait till they can talk and ask them yourselves.
I'll call him Tourmaline for now. If you like it, we keep it. If we don't, then you can tell me.
Anything else?
What do the colours of obviously I know they mean something different for each, but what do ours mean?
The colours of a dragon represent something, some connection in its past to the ancestors of the dragons. Some power, ability, and a coupling, for example, of a green and a gold dragon which lay eggs will not necessarily result in a green or gold dragon. Not even the same types. It is something we have never understood, and neither have the dragons themselves. The colors represent their connection to the magic of this world and how they manifest that magic. You have seen a vendor, I believe. A vendor is a violet dragon. It means that she can slowly exhale gas instead of flame, slowly filling up an area with no one the wiser until she triggers a spark in her mouth. And at this point you can see like his face twitching very slightly, and you remember, you see the scars all the way down his face and neck, and triggering an explosion.
Oh.
So, similar to that, all of your dragons, all of your partners, will slowly come into their power and manifest similar abilities. Would you like to know what all of your dragons are capable of?
Yes.
Yes, please.
He looks at Rethera. The deep, dark blue of your dragon allows you to manifest a pervasive mist-like breath that can cover an area depending upon the well of power within your dragon, creating hallucinations, auditory, vision, everything. People think they see ghosts in the mist. They think they see monsters and shadows. They think they hear things. It disorientates, it confuses, and can be very useful.
Would that affect me if I was to be in the mist?
A dragon cannot manifest its power with much control without a rider. The dragon provides the raw power. You provide the control. There is no way that it would be like one of the eyes of your dragon being affected by the mist. You are part of the process.
Thank you, teacher.
Ultra, I believe your dragon is red.
Yeah. And I look over my shoulder to see if it's on the bed, just like tearing up a pillow.
It's kind of like shaking a bit of feather, like it's ripped out one of the feathers from a pillow.
It's so pretty.
Red dragons may absorb a trait of their prey and bestow it upon themselves and even sometime others. If you take, in the future, once the power is manifested, if you take your dragon and see it consume a turtle, it will be able to manifest stronger scales, hardened and resistant to attack, for example.
Can it eat like a rock and do the same thing?
A rock would be indigestible even to a dragon. However, to a certain degree, it could consume an aquatic animal and gain the ability to breathe underwater, for example.
What if it just eats normal food?
Invariably, a slice of meat will not be sufficient. A whole creature must be devoured. Although,
Okay.
dependent on the power and maturity of your dragon, this may change.
Okay. And it can only happen once?
It may be stored and accessed, but given other meals, these will disappear over the new ones. Preparation is key.
Okay.
Cassandra, silver, an alloy. Silver dragons are reasonably rare, along with yellow and gold. Silver dragons can bolster or combine with the abilities of other dragons. You may add details or strength to the abilities of your podmates. For example, you may strengthen the hallucinations or add a detail to the hallucinations of Rethera's manifestations. You may strengthen the manifestations of those things that Ultra's dragon eats.
Yet we can't utilize them ourselves.
In time, with maturity, once you have helped to manifest a power, you may store it and utilize it yourself, manifesting it between yourself and your dragon. You must be willing to learn, and you must always be thinking about how to help and how to add another detail to something already manifesting.
Yes, teacher.
Perry,
Yes.
your dragon is a brown dragon,
Yes.
and while it may look ordinary, its abilities are not. With time and with power, your dragon will be able to change the state of being of simple things, from liquid to gas to solid.
Ooh.
I have heard tell of mature and ancient dragon and riders who have turned an entire lake into gas, completely emptying it. So,
Good for fishing and then really bad for the ecosystem.
consider for yourself as you go on how that may be utilized to help your pod.
Oh, yeah. I wonder if you could do that with their, like, metals and things. That would be cool. Yes. Thank you, teacher.
The way you manifest your power is collaborative. Everything about being a rider of dragons is collaborative. When your dragon strikes, you help to guide. When you strike, your dragon adds power. When you manifest the abilities inherent in your dragon, they provide the force, they provide the strength, and you provide the control. And if you don't have the control, you can get hurt, and other people can get hurt. Now, are there any more questions?
Where's the rest of the house?
I don't understand what you mean. This is your nest, and this is where you will live.
Right. But okay.
We don't need anything more than this.
Yeah, I could use a desk.
We've got a table.
We can maybe find an extra desk for you if
That'd
needed.
be nice. Otherwise, I'm going to take that one over.
There's no bed frame or sofas or carpet would be.
So, as we go forward, you will be spending your first month caring for, hunting for, feeding, protecting your partner. In time, they will grow. In time, their power will manifest. And he looks at each of you in the eye, and you notice again that his eyes are vibrant violet. As time goes on, as the meld forms, you will notice a few changes. As you can see, my eyes light with the fire of my dragon, and so will yours. As you bond, you'll find yourselves experiencing a change in eye color to match that of your dragon. Glistening silver, lively brown, fiery red and the depth of the deep blue. In about a month, I will come back and check on you. I may try to come back now and then, but my duties as a dragon rider still persist. When you can, train yourselves to become stronger and better, to become worthy of what your partner is going to become, and to be worthy of what the rest of you will become. Because you'll be operating as a pod, you'll be operating as a team, and you'll be protecting people as much as you will be able to. Yes, Ultra.
I raise my hand. When training's done, can we visit home again with our companion?
Training will take a while, but I do not have an objection to that as long as it does not get in the way of your duties.
Well, no, I just wanted to, everyone is really excited that I came here, so I wanted to be able to show them that I'm a dragon rider.
Of course, in the interim, if any of you wish for a letter or correspondence to be sent home, it can be arranged. For now, though, concentrate on the task, on the duty in front of you. And remember that from this moment on, there is nothing in this world more powerful than you and your partner. And I will be seeing you all soon. And as he gets up and steps away, the camera fades on you all as we end the episode there.
Wagons.
Yeah, so
Wagons.
Wagons. Wagons.
Woo!
oh my goodness.
Woo!
Yeah.
Oh my lord, that was an experience.
Oh my goodness gracious.
I just want to say right now, I have like 12 notepads open with notes. I'm like going between notes. Oh my lord.
I just want to have conversations with everybody now.
I know.
Ask
I'm so sorry that
questions.
Cassandra's so like snooty.
I love it.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
it.
I
Like, where's the rest of it?
Rithera has no idea what's going on. She's like, what are you even talking about? This is all we have. This
Yo,
is all
you
we
said
need.
make a pillow. I'm like, what? What's make?
everything's so exciting for Ultra, but like, no
Oh.
idea what
Like,
the world's gonna.
you can probably have a vague inkling as to what her raising that little red terror is gonna be like.
I'm so excited.
Just like the feistiest little bean. I've already like just want all the best for this little thing.
Yeah.
You said about hunting, and Katie's like Ultra's face just went. Ooh.
Well, okay, I literally thought like, oh, I could have her eat an owl.
Vegetarians?
Like that would be like the ultimate like sin.
That's like
So-
that's heresy, I think.
I know.
no.
So then, like, the thing is, in character, I was like, oh, Ultra thought about having her eat an owl, and then
Yeah.
immediately felt guilt and
Mm.
regret about the fact that it was like, you can't do that, because we're all, I won't say too much, but
Yeah.
No.
So, as you all know, and I have indicated on the screen, all of these dragons that we met, that the characters have come to partner with, are being played by one of our players. So, I'm going to turn on all of the overlay. Oh, sorry. I just got rid of Dan's there. And now you can see that Dan's brown dragon is being played by Katie. Tashnar's silver dragon is being played by Dan. Katie's red dragon is being played by Elle. And Elle's blue dragon is being played by Tash.
None of us knew who was playing whose
Yeah.
dragon,
No.
by the way.
It was like when we were watching the art being made, I'm like, oh, I'm a dragon, but I can't say
Yeah,
it.
I can't
Yeah.
tell you. I can't tell you how many times I was like, "Hey, look at your dragons," and they were like, "I want to retweet it, but I can't because it makes it obvious." Like, I want to. Oh.
I just retweeted them all.
Yeah.
So then
Yeah,
that way you
that's
couldn't.
big brain.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I just went through them all like boom, boom, boom.
So yes, as we go forward, as we learn how to train your dragon, sorry, you
I know
will.
you had to.
Next episode, we'll probably go through a decent amount of time skipping and moving forward. You know, we don't need to do the everyday hunting all the time and doing all the things. We'll do some touching on training and all that type of stuff. Also, sidebar, if you look in the chat right now, you'll see a person called Exploding Dice, who is also known as Askren, who did all of the art and the overlay for this, and is an absolute star for getting this all set up for the show.
I love the overlay.
Man.
Like just when you
I
hit
love
the
it.
buttons and it like
Yeah.
switches and I'm like, oh, it's so
Yeah.
good.
So if you want to see him doing art, go give him a follow, because he does stream his art. And if you've seen the dragons, woof.
They're
So cool.
I might be able to
So beautiful.
show them very quickly as we go. So as I'm doing this, open floor for you guys to talk about this episode, the premiere, things you want to talk about, little bits. Like, I loved the intro. It was so cool to see your characters in that intro and then go to the dragon. And did anyone else feel like, maybe it was just me and I'm crazy. I'm not, but maybe it is. Did anyone else feel a bit like they were going to Hogwarts and going into the sorting hat and like seeing what house they were going to get and stuff? It had a tiny vibe of that for me, where I was just like, oh, it's,
I wasn't sure if you were not going to give me a dragon for a second there. I know that.
Hey.
No, I was like, that was amazing. It would be so,
See,
like,
I was
sorry,
like,
be
all right.
horrifically funny, but so sad.
No.
Get out of
I-
the show.
My brain didn't go at all to Hogwarts things. I went a very different direction at first. Walking in is like, oh, it's like the egg room from Aliens.
Yeah, like I thought about that too. I'm like, yeah.
That's where
face
my brain
huggers.
went. Yeah.
So I'm
And
Very
yours
different.
basically was a face hugger.
It
For Ultras.
was.
I just burst out at you.
I'm just gonna
It's
cover
like a horror movie, but I
myself
loved it.
for a second. This is Katie,
Wow.
the Katie dragon, played by Katie. That's the.
I feel like that looks pretty badass. Like
It
basic
really
brown
does.
who?
Yeah.
Everyone in chat was
Uh,
like, oh, brown. I'm like, brown?
this
Brown.
this
Brown.
is the silver dragon,
Come on.
played by Dan.
So cool.
So cool.
So cute.
This is possibly my favorite because of how feral it is. Although also the red dragon's pretty feral. This is the wyvern, blue, played by Tash.
Look at the
Oh my
mouth.
gosh. I know the teeth.
I know.
Like, how happy were you that one's yours, Elle, for your
So excited.
character? It's gonna be so
It's
interesting.
gonna be so good. I already have ideas that I'm like,
Because of time constraints, this isn't quite finished, but it gives you an idea enough. That is the red hydrang, played by Elle.
I didn't think I was gonna get a 3-headed dragon. I'll be honest.
You get a
I love
three-headed
it.
dragon.
Yeah.
yeah.
And
I'm excited.
all of that art is done by Askren. He really knocked it out over the last like week or two. And yeah.
Amazing.
So,
Brilliant
sorry, as we
job.
were saying, we don't want to spend too much time on like an after-showy type thing, but for the premiere, if you guys can hack a little bit more time before we end the show, as I said, like that, I'm so glad that Katie, you were okay with doing the intro.
Yeah.
Because like that was a great intro with your character, like very chill and very kind of like, yo, what's up?
I just feel like
I like owls.
Not a cult.
not a. I mean, it's
Not a
kind of a
cult.
cult.
I mean,
I didn't think I was gonna run into, someone.
I mean, you've
Yeah.
you've been GM'd by me before, so
I know. I didn't expect it right out the gate, though.
Yeah.
I mean, what a jerk.
did you
I'll pray for you, and he died.
I'm gonna
Pray for
die.
you.
did you also hear what color his dragon is?
Yes.
Oh God, I was so focused on the
It
feathers
was
when you
the
said that.
banana yellow.
Banana yellow.
I did. Yeah, I did remember that thing. That was a very oddly specific color of a mature banana. I've never heard
Well,
a description.
Yeah, I know. It's just I don't want people thinking gold, because there are gold dragons and they're different. The yellow dragons are interesting, as we all know, because everyone was like, "That's really cool. I don't know how to do that. I'm not picking that." So, yeah, no, and Rith was really cool. Always fun to have an explosive intro, where it's just like, "I'm a chasing deer!" Ah!
So,
That's a badass intro.
was, yeah.
I'm excited.
And obviously Perry, being
Oh my
a
gosh.
best little boy.
Perry just melted my heart.
Yeah.
Just wants to make things.
Some of you who've watched some of Dan's other performances before, maybe like, is he playing a wholesome, friendly little guy? And it's
I was thinking, like, is this a happy character?
oh yeah, this is friendly, happy, wholesome.
I'm just waiting for the traumatic background to come out at
Oh
some
yeah, of
point.
course. Yeah. All of his parents, all of them die halfway through the series, and that's all.
He's like,
it's all
it was a
Sheepy's
bad
fault.
mine card accident.
Yeah,
Dylan's
I can't
origin
unsee it.
the
story.
mountain just collapses, and he loses every semblance
Oh,
of
no.
family. You know, that's just.
Whoops,
He has
use
to
the
go. He has to
screwdriver.
go to 60,000 funerals.
Stay tuned.
Well, that's gonna be a long episode. Okay.
Maybe that could be a side episode where we don't appear.
Yeah.
one of the things when we were doing character creation, Dan espoused a bucket list, let's say. One of the bits being, I'd like to play a nice character, and I was like,
Aw.
hell yeah, let's do it.
'Cause last time he was like, well, the last show he GM'd me on was just like, all right, we'd like you to be spoiler for those who haven't seen it. I'll do it that way.
Yeah.
But it was very much here, you get to not be any of that. Go.
Go be an asshole who turns out to be even more of an asshole than people thought. Yeah. So I felt I owed Dan a little bit of wholesomeness. And of course, Cassandra, the weirdly, possibly the one I felt the sorriest for, even though she's rich and in a giant mansion.
Oh, when everyone's like, everyone else is having their, "Oh, I'm so proud of you" moments
Yeah.
with their mentors, and I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Oh no, I know what's coming.
Neat.
Oh no.
When I said the contents of that letter, when I was like, "So you can catch up to your siblings," I saw all three of you simultaneously go, "Oh," and go, "Oh," like.
But yeah.
At first, it's like, oh, you just rich, and then it's like, I want to fight your mom.
Yeah.
It's a roller coaster of emotion.
Fine. Oh gosh. Yeah.
You hate birds.
It was more of a kind of like looking at something that she doesn't have, you know, like
and then
Birds. Doesn't
Yeah.
have
I'm gonna
birds.
have to write to my mom about like what dragon it is, and with I don't know if you saw the disappointment, but trying not to be disappointed with the silver abilities. I was like, I love my dragon. We've already got a connection, but
it's like so I can't be strong on my own. I have to be part of other people's strength.
yeah.
Which I'm telling you, when you guys are picking the colors of your dragons, I already knew the characters you were gonna be. And when Elle was like, I'm gonna be this color dragon and this type of dragon, I was like, oh, Katie, why is she doing this to you?
I know, and I love that. Like, obviously none of us knew what dragon we were, none of us knew what the others were, and so having it worked out so well that we're all going to suffer a little
Yeah.
bit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure what you're gonna do with your one, because
Me?
sorry, that with Dan with Perry's.
High energy and this little not lazy, but just kind
Just
of like
chill.
Mellow.
whatever happens, I don't care. It's good.
Yeah.
It's a basic little dragon.
Basic little dragon. Basic B round.
It's great.
I mean, the kind of the color of the dragon is reasonably basic, but the ability is kind of ridiculous and cool.
I
He's
saw
alright.
that and I was like, yeah,
Like-
I know it's brown, but that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I won't go
turn metal into a liquid.
or
I know.
You're a magic alchemist with a dragon.
I won't go too
Right?
I won't go too deep into all of the possibilities for your dragon's abilities, but this is one I discussed with Katie when she was making her dragon. If you're in a flying like dogfight battle or dragon fight, I guess, battle with other dragon riders or anything that flies, like clouds are simple and in a state, and you can turn them from essentially gas to solid. So just go freeze an entire cloud as the dragon's passing. Like there's a lot of shit you can do in there. So yeah.
Dan looks real excited.
So
And I'll help with that.
well, I mean, this is the thing about the silver dragon is you can add a detail.
Yeah.
So you could make when he turns it solid, you could make the temperature boiling. You
Yeah,
know,
it's
like
there is a lot for helping and adding, and especially with like the hallucinations and everything to make it super specific. Freak the heck out of people. It'd be pretty good.
Yeah.
So that was the premiere episode of Dragon Riders, a custom-made system and show, which came about because Sheepy went, I have an idea. You know what would be cool is if everyone played two different characters and they had to work together.
Thank you, Sheepy, for putting this all together. This is super cool.
I like, so like I've done some very successful episodes, some ones, you know, some shows that this is the happiest I've been doing an episode so far. Like something about it was just, it's something I want to play in. I want a dragon.
Aw.
But yeah, and you have a teacher, Violet Dragon and Illegal. So it's gonna be good. Yeah. So this episode will be out tomorrow, guys, on the YouTube. Go check it out if you're interested. I'm Sheepdog wandering in. Check out the Patreon. Oh, as a sidebar, actually, just because I want to chill myself a little bit here. If you want to support the shows, everything on the Patreon currently goes towards cast pay for both the Monday and the Friday cast. And if you are a patron at essentially any level for this one, I believe, once this show is over, I'm going to post up the setting and system for anyone in the Patreon to download. So if you want to run your own Dragon Rider show with your mates, you can use that to do it. Although it's not super complicated, so it's not, you know, like super massively amazing, but yeah.
Put work into that. Stop downplaying yourself.
Agreed.
So yeah, as someone said earlier, I think it was Tash, there's 13 different colors of dragon and they all do different things. So there's a lot of variety there with the 4 types as well and everything. Yeah, I think it's about time for us to end the episode. So we'll have a quick go around, tell us where you can find us, everyone, and then we'll go to an outro. Because there is an outro as well as an intro.
Amazing.
So let's start off and go around back the other way. Tash and Cassandra.
Hi, I'm Tashna. I want to say do lots of variety things. I've forgotten how to speak real quick. I do tabletop. I play Final Fantasy 14. I paint minis and have a Warhammer lore and mini painting show with Sheepy that goes on YouTube. I do her makeup, and I have really funny cats that like to ruin my life because I'm allergic to them. But that's okay. That's okay. And that's me. And I'm Tashna. The end.
Hot potato to Dan.
Ah, hello.
And
I
Barry.
am Domestic Dan. I was Perry Quartz today.
You were.
I were.
And me am.
I,
But yeah,
me.
anyway.
That was
Yeah,
so-
I
Lifestyle streamer.
I do all sorts of things. Namely, cook food, garden, grow my own vegetables and things. Occasionally, will mow my lawn on stream because that means my lawnmower continues to stay a tax write-off. No. But yeah, I do a lot of tabletop. So it's thank you for bringing me for the first time onto Wandering In.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this
Oh.
is my first show with y'all.
As everyone's talking about where you can find them, links below on Twitch and on YouTube to their channels, so you can go check them out.
Aha. Oh, nice. I see that.
Yeah.
That's sweet. But yeah, I tell you that I just do a lot of variety games when I'm not cooking or other things.
Cool.
So that's me. You've had me Domestic Dan. Boom.
Hot potato, L, and also Rithera.
Yes. Hi. I'm Elbel, or Ellie. I played with Farrah Cricks for you today. I am so happy to get a chance to do this and be here with this amazing cast. And this incredible show and fun idea. I am a variety streamer who plays a lot of retro first playthroughs. We're playing through Donkey Kong Country 2 and finishing Indiana Jones Fate of Atlantis. And on Sunday, I'm playing with the wonderful Katie, and we are doing Portal 2 co-op, and I'm so
Ooh.
excited.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh my.
So excited. And you can find me on Elbel at twitch.tv.
Hot potato, finally, to Ulcha and Katie.
Hello. I'm Katie Peters Plays. I stream. I do podcasts. I do tabletop. I always was like, oh, you're gonna do it so smooth, and I just don't do it smooth. But yeah, there's lots of fun stuff coming up in the future. I'm playing with Ellie on Sunday because you and I both have never played the Portal 2
Correct.
co-op, so it's gonna be something new for both of us. And then I don't know, I'm just excited about the show because I saw dragons, and now I'm just really antsy to start playing the dragon, and then also to talk more to everybody's character. And
Also
Yes.
play with your dragon.
yeah, I want to hang out with my dragon right now.
Right now.
Okay, everyone. As we leave, we have an outro for you. Both the intro and the outro was made by the fantastic Safi Pie. If you think the intro music fits quite well, listen to the outro music. So thank you very much for watching. We have Drifting on Mondays. We have Dragon Riders on Fridays. And we will see you for both next week. Thanks for watching.